Shau Kei Wan is a fascinating district on the eastern edge of Hong Kong Island where marine heritage, working class resilience, and layered urban evolution converge. Housed in a former British military fort, the Museum of Coastal Defense offers a compelling narrative of Hong Kong's strategic maritime history. Aldrich Bay Promenade is a serene waterfront stretch in Sai Wan Ho. You'll spot traditional fishing vessels bobbling in the shelter, offering a rare glimpse into Hong Kong's living maritime culture. Take the Sam Ka Chun ferry from Sai Wan Ho to Lei Yue Mun. Lei Yue Mun, meaning Carp Gate in Chinese, is one of Hong Kong's most atmospheric enclaves, where strategic geography, fishing village heritage, and culinary fame converge at the eastern entrance of Victoria Harbour. In this vlog, I'll be visiting Shau Kei Wan, the Hong Kong Museum of Coastal Defense, the Aldrich Bay Promenade, and Lei Yue Mun. Shau Kei Wan's history is a rich tapestry of maritime resilience, Hakka craftsmanship, colonial overlay, and post-war transformation, woven into one of Hong Kong Island's most characterful districts. The name Shau Kei means rice washing basket and Wan means bay, reflecting the original shape of the coastline before land reclamation. The alternative name for Shau Kei Wan would be Nor Yan Wan or Bay of Starving Men, stems from a legend about British merchants stranded by a typhoon with no food available. Shau Kei Wan had fishing and quarrying routes. It served as a storm shelter for fishermen from Taiwan who began settling there in the early 1700s, drawn by the bay's natural protection. Hakka quarry workers were migrants from the Huizhou established coastal quarries established in a Kun Nang, producing a granite for colonial construction. By 1841, Shau Kei Wan housed 1,200 people, which was 5% of Hong Kong Island's population. In the 1860s, Governor Richard McDowell cracked down on piracy, introducing police posts and replanning the area with proper roads. The Lei Yue Mun Fort was built to defend the eastern entrance of Victoria Harbour in 1885. The 20th century saw Shau Kei Wan undergo industrial and civic growth. Light industries arrived in the 1920s, followed by a thriving fish trading market post-World War II. Refugees from mainland China built 13 hillside villages, which were often informal and unsanitary. The Tin Hau and Tam Kung temples were built in 1873 and 1905 respectively, funded by local masons and fishermen seeking divine protection. Minghua Daiha is a public housing estate with deep ties to post-war urban development and community resilience. Main Street East was once the district's commercial heart, but now has a blend of old shops, eateries, and local life. Mingwa Daiha is a landmark public housing estate in Shau Kei Wan that embodies Hong Kong's post-war urban resilience, architectural pragmatism, and evolving civic identity. Built by the Hong Kong Housing Society between 1962 and 1978, it was one of the earliest rental estates outside the government's direct purview. Named after Bishop Ronald Hall, a founding member of the Housing Society, with the plaque unveiled by Governor Sir David Trench in 1966. It originally housed over 3,000 flats, many of which lacked private kitchens or bathrooms, reflecting the urgent housing needs of the area. Long block design with open-air corridors and shared drying areas encouraged neighborly interactions. G Block stood out with a rare cross-shaped layout and larger units with some dual balconies and separate bath shower rooms. There were no lifts in most blocks until 2006, when they added elevators, upgraded security, and improved landscaping. Main Street East in Shau Kei Wan is a vibrant artery of local life where heritage, street food, and community spirit converge in a tight, flavorful corridor. Known citywide for its dense lineup of eateries, from traditional Cantonese dim sum and congee shops to Thai, Japanese, and fusion bites. Expect skewers, fish balls, chow fen, and egg waffles served from humble stalls with decades of history. Many shops have been family run for generations, adding layers of living memory to the street's texture. TripAdvisor offers a rich selection of things to do in and around Shau Kei Wan, a vibrant district on Hong Kong Island known for its coastal heritage and local charm. Here are some top-rated experiences and attractions you might enjoy. The Hong Kong Museum of Coastal Defense was recently renamed the Museum of War of Resistance and Coastal Defense. It is a powerful fusion of military history, civic memory, and adaptive reuse tucked into the headlands of Shau Kei Wan. Converted from a 100-years-old fort, the Hong Kong Museum of Coastal Defense displays 600 years of coastal defense of Hong Kong. Military memorabilia such as cannon, tanks, and other military vehicles are displayed at the entrance of the museum. Originally, the museum is built on the former Lei Yue Mun Fort, built in 1887, a British military installation guarding the eastern approach to Victoria Harbour. It was transformed into a museum in 2000 and now narrates Hong Kong's coastal defense from the Ming Dynasty through World War II and beyond. After Typhoon Mangkhut's damage, it reopened with a stronger focus on war of resilience against Japanese invasion, blending patriotism with historical storytelling. In the museum, you will find a 2-hour outdoor route that the museum showcases a historical trail entailing a 2-hour outdoor route through restored bunkers, gun emplacements, and outdoor lookout points. Permanent exhibits, including cannons, uniforms, scale models, and multimedia displays that trace Hong Kong's strategic evolution. It also has an observation deck which offers panoramic views of the harbor, ideal for grasping the tactical logic of the site. The Hong Kong Museum of the War of Resistance and Coastal Defense was converted from the Hong Kong Museum of Coastal Defense in September of 2024. It focuses on the history of the War of Resistance and changes in coastal defense and military affairs. A permanent exhibition showcases Hong Kong's struggles against invasion, its role in coastal defense, and military changes from the Tang Dynasty to Hong Kong's return to China in 1997. The museum is located at Lei Mun Pass, a strategic defense location since ancient times and features a historic trail with 24 checkpoints that documents significant events at the fort, allowing visitors to immerse themselves in military and historical ambiance as well as the natural scenery of the site. A 24 checkpoint outdoor trail winds through bunkers, gun emplacements, and a lookout post, including the Brennan Torpedo Station, a rare coastal installation built into a cave just above the sea. Some important historical military structures on the trail include a redoubt built in 1887 and formerly the core military structure of the Lei Yue Mun Fort. The central battery, completed in March 1887, the gun barrel on display is a 7-inch RML Mark I gun of 4.5 tons dating from the 1870s. The western battery, a two 9-inch muzzle loading guns mounted in this battery in March 1887. The torpedo station, stationed at Lei Yue Mun, was built between 1892 and 1894. It was hewn out of the rock of the headland. It was the last to be constructed either in Britain or her overseas possessions. The Lei Yue Mun Pass battery was built to defend the harbor from destroyers carrying small high-speed torpedoes. It was completed in March of 1892. The museum has developed a collection of about 500 items related to the 600 years of Hong Kong's coastal defense and military history. It compromises cannons, cannonballs, guns, military uniforms, headgears, medals, military vehicles, and equipment. Photographs, models, and historical documents such as certificates, letters, diaries, logbooks, payrolls, prisoner of war artifacts, news articles, magazines, and more on the subject were also acquired. Besides the military memorabilia, the area of 34,200 square meters features several galleries and exhibits devoted to Hong Kong's main historical periods and covers the Opium Wars, Japanese occupation, or British period. The Museum of the War of Resistance and Coastal Defense in Shau Kei Wan offers a compelling blend of permanent and thematic exhibitions that trace Hong Kong's military evolution and wartime resilience. The story of Hong Kong coastal defense is housed in the Lei Yue Mun Redoubt at the top of the hill. It is made up of 11 thematic galleries converted from casemates to showcase the changes in Hong Kong's coastal defense. To showcase the changes in Hong Kong's coastal defense and military affairs since the Tang Dynasty, as well as the history of Hong Kong's resistance against Japanese aggression. Diverse exhibitions are displayed with textual and graphic illustrations enriched by multimedia programs. It is hoped that visitors will gain a deeper understanding of the history of coastal defense in Hong Kong after exploring. The 11 thematic galleries consist of military presence under successive dynasties, unequal treaties and secession of Hong Kong, military arrangements, port facilities, multi-ethnic soldiers, the Chinese People's Liberation Army Hong Kong garrison, narrative of the War of Resistance, join hands to resist Japanese invasion of Hong Kong, anti-Japanese guerrillas behind enemy lines, and coastal defense in Guangdong and Hong Kong during the Ming and Qing dynasties. On December 8, 1941, the Japanese launched their attacks on Hong Kong Island. After the fall of the new territories and Kowloon, the British forces immediately strengthened the defenses at Lei Yue Mun to defend the Japanese from crossing the Lei Yue Mun Channel from Devil's Peak. The defense forces managed to repulse several raids from the Japanese, but were eventually overwhelmed and the fort fell into enemy hands on December 19th. While the fort no longer bore any defensive significance in the post-war period, it became a training ground for British forces until 1987, when it was finally vacated. Visiting the Museum of the War of Resistance and Coastal Defense in Shau Kei Wan is like stepping into a living chronicle of Hong Kong's strategic soul, where military history, civic memory, and adaptive reuse converge in one of the city's most atmospheric settings. The museum is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through every day of the week except Thursday, when the museum is closed. Free admission on Wednesday. Built from the century-old Lei Yue Mun Fort, the predecessor of the museum, which was a large-scale fortification more than 100 years ago. The museum's historic building has a large open-air plaza which, together with the other original building materials, provide visitors with a comfortable and quaint feel. The more than 400 collected exhibits in the Coast Defense Museum are all related to the history of coastal defense. Use my link to plan your trip to the museum. The Hong Kong Coastal Defense Museum's predecessor was the Lei Yue Mun Fort, Hong Kong's largest defensive fortification over a century ago, and a key battlefield in the 1941 Battle of Hong Kong. Today, the fort has been converted into a museum, preserving and showcasing Hong Kong's 600-year history of coastal defense. Use Freeguider to help plan your trip to the museum. The Aldrich Bay Park is located adjacent to the existing Aldrich Bay Promenade in Sai Wan Ho. It provides a breathing space for the local residents, who may access the park from all surrounding areas. Aldrich Bay Park is situated in the Sai Wan Ho. Aldrich Bay Park is situated in Sai Wan Ho with a site area of approximately 22,000 square meters. It sits adjacent to an existing Aldrich Bay Promenade and provides the locals with a park and a theme of a fishing village. The one-to-one fishing vessel features pools, bamboo pavilions, and other public amenities to make the park a popular location for relaxation and leisure. Aldrich Bay is a fascinating slice of Hong Kong's urban evolution where colonial legacy, land reclamation, and community life converge on the northern edge of Hong Kong Island. Named after Major Edward Aldrich, the colony's first commanding royal engineer, known for instilling discipline in the British forces. Originally the natural bay adjacent to Shau Kei Wan, Aldrich Bay was reshaped through extensive land reclamation in the late 20th century. Aldrich Bay Promenade is built along Shau Kei Wan Typhoon Shelter with a concrete walkway along the coast. It is an ideal location to capture the distinctive view of the Shau Kei Wan Typhoon Shelter and Lei Yue Mun. There are various recreation and leisure facilities in the park. Traveling from Sai Wan Ho to Sam Kah Chun is one of Hong Kong's most scenic and culturally rich short journeys, crossing Victoria Harbour by ferry into the heart of Lei Yue Mun's fishing village and seafood haven. The ferry is operated by Coral Sea Ferry Service. Sai Wan Ho Pier, located on Tai Hong Street, has direct ferry service to Sam Kah Chun Ferry Pier in Chung Shun Street in Lei Yue Mun. The trip takes 10 minutes, costs 9 Hong Kong dollars, and has ferry service every 24 to 30 minutes from 7 a.m. to 22:45 p.m. You'll experience a peaceful ride across the eastern entrance of Victoria Harbour with views of fishing boats, container ships, and coastal landmarks. The Sam Kah Chun Ferry Pier is located near Lei Yue Mun's Seafood Bazaar, temples, and Morel Village, perfect for a walking tour or dinner by the sea. Lei Yue Mun separates Kowloon from Hong Kong Island geographically, forming a key maritime gateway into Victoria Harbour. Historically, the Hong Kong Island side housed the Lei Yue Mun Fort, which is now the Museum of Coastal Defense, while the Kowloon side was home to stone quarries and fishing villages. The channel was once called Lei Mun Pass by British cartographers, reflecting its tactical importance. When it comes to Lei Yue Mun, seafood is often the first thing that comes to mind, but this charming neighborhood has much more to offer beyond its delectable seafood. Nestled away from the city's hustle and bustle, Lei Yue Mun is conveniently situated just a 15-minute walk from Yaotong MTR station on the eastern end of Victoria Harbour. From here, you can take in breathtaking views of the sea and witness Lei Yue Mun's transformation from a thriving quarry to a charismatic destination that thrives on its lively seafood scene, vibrant art and cultural happenings, and rich historical heritage. Whether you're seeking a culinary adventure, artistic inspiration, or a glimpse of Hong Kong's past, Lei Yue Mun surely promises an unforgettable experience. Ma Wan and Sham Kha Chun villages are traditional fishing communities with stilt houses, temples, and narrow lanes. Perhaps the most historical and culturally significant structure in Lei Yue Mun is Tin Hau Temple, a Grade II historic building dedicated to the sea goddess, built in 1753 and rebuilt in 1953, and paired with a hip tin temple for Quan Dai worship. Old Quarry Ruins is a remnant of Hong Kong's stone mining past and is now a part of the landscape's layered memory. There are plenty of scenic adventures to enjoy in Lei Yue Mun, including the Lei Yue Mun Lighthouse, a guiding beacon perched on a rocky outcrop offering panoramic views, Merle Village, where volunteers have transformed Ma Wan Village with vibrant harborside art. There are scenic viewing platforms, which are part of the waterfront enhancement project, ideal for photography and reflection. Lei Yue Mun is known for its seafood bazaars and culinary fame. You can buy fresh and cook fresh, as visitors select live seafood from floating pens or market stalls and then have them cooked at nearby restaurants. Enjoy signature dishes such as mantis shrimps, grouper, lobster, and more, all served with harbor views and local flair. For more about Lei Yue Mun, check out my blog. Lei Yue Mun is a seafood lover's paradise, blending Hong Kong's fishing village heritage with fresh from the sea dining. Here are some popular restaurants to enjoy. Visiting Shau Kei Wan offers a rare chance to experience Hong Kong's layered soul, where fishing villages' roots, colonial overlays, and civic resilience converge in a walkable, lived-in district far removed from the city's polished tourist zones. Shau Kei Wan is brimming with wet markets, traditional tea houses, and street-level commerce that reflects everyday Hong Kong. Museum of Coastal Defense in Shau Kei Wan is housed in the former British fort known as Lei Yue Mun Fort. The exhibits trace Hong Kong's coastal defense evolution from the Ming Dynasty forts to British colonial strategies and World War II battles. The museum highlights the War of Resistance against Japan with multimedia storytelling and thematic zones that bring the era to life. Outdoor historical trails wind through the fort's grounds, revealing hidden gun emplacements and panoramic views of Victoria Harbour. Lei Yue Mun is one of Hong Kong's most atmospheric enclaves where strategic geography, fishing village heritage, and culinary fame converge at the eastern entrance of Victoria Harbour. A trip to Shau Kei Wan and Lei Yue Mun is full of historical value, cultural memory, and culinary delights. It's not very touristy, but an authentic way to experience local Hong Kong life. In my next vlog, I'll be visiting Quarry Bay.